Hi kids, it's Miss Cindy. I thought it would be fun today to draw again together, and I thought I would teach you how to draw Olaf. I know everybody likes Frozen, and I thought maybe he would be a fun character to teach you how to draw. I'm going to have a copy of this page in the box where you come and pick up your kits, so you're welcome to come and pick it up, and you'll be able to see the circles and the triangles that I drew on there still, and that might help you, just like when we did the horse before, okay? This should be a little bit easier than the horse, but it's still not super easy. You think a snowman's just a few round circles, but it's a little more complicated than that to make him look like Olaf. So let's get started. First, we'll get our piece of paper. All you need is a paper and a pencil, and draw a circle. Then about halfway, maybe not quite halfway through that circle, draw kind of big, almost triangle, but it's kind of blunt on the bottom. We're going to need another triangle here because that's going to be his carrot nose, and that's a triangle, right? Okay, so we've got a good start. Now come up inside there a little bit, draw another circle, a littler one, kind of like that. Okay, and then we'll do a bigger circle. This will be the main part of his body. And then he's got to have feet of some kind, right? So I think his feet, the way that they drew it, I think they look like marshmallows. So I always think of marshmallows when I see his feet and his mouth. Okay, so that's a pretty good start for us. We're going to make his hands go up. So let's see, we'll go up from about here, and we'll make a line there so we know where we're heading, okay? All right, so he has twigs for hair up here, so I'm going to make some marks there. Now, let's see. We need to start shaping his face a little bit. If you notice, this has a little bit of a curve, and this has a bigger curve on this side. So I'm going to just start where it comes into the triangle and give it a little curve right there. And then I'm going to do a bigger curve on this side. There you go. That looks about right. Okay, now he has a big smiling mouth. So we're going to draw this line next. So let's start about here. When you're drawing cartoons, everything's exaggerated, isn't it? So let's do his mouth about like this. Does that look about right? I think so. I get nervous when I draw this on a video, and it's kind of hard with the camera this way. I couldn't let you see my face because then I couldn't adjust the camera. Okay, so now let's go give him his big chin, and it curves in a little bit too. It's not a super hard triangle. We give it a little bit of a nice curve. And where his chin would set down on his snow, you see, on his little snowy top, then we put a little bit of a curve in there as well. All right, let's block in where his carrot nose is going to be next. So we have a triangle about here. Let's draw a shape that looks kind of carroty. Carrots are kind of lumpy, right? Okay, so now we have where his carrot nose is going to be. So let's give him some eyeballs. The way we're drawing this one today, you have one whole eyeball, And Olaf is such a nice character. He's always excited, isn't he? And kind of full of wonder. So he has big, wide eyeballs. That's why I like him. I think he would be a friend to everybody. Okay, so then now we have 2 Olaf eyeballs. All right, so far so good. How about this tooth? This tooth is pretty big. I heard from one of the animators that they had originally thought they would make it a block of ice, but that didn't quite work out. So they decided to come up with this tooth shape that's kind of like this. So he's got like a snow tooth. All right, now we've got to open up his mouth, don't we? So we'll just make a big loop down this way. And we'll give him a bit of definition in his chin. Now, inside of his mouth, you want to shade it darker because it goes inside, right? So artists know little tricks that make things illusions look like illusions. And they use those tricks to make things look three-dimensional. Now, he has some fun little eyebrows that are always bouncing around. So we'll give him some of those up high. Okay, that's pretty good for blocking in the face. Now, we're going to block in his little chest. We'll kind of go around our circle there. Now we have this big circle that we drew at the first, but since it's behind it and underneath, that's another artist trick. Okay, since it's underneath it, we draw on top like this. There we go. So when I draw, I'm always using an eraser of some kind. So I've got my eraser right here that I can clean up these lines after I have drawn them. Now, I always think of marshmallows. I think of jet-puffed big marshmallows when I do his feet. So they're not squares, they're kind of rounded, but they're not exactly circles either. So now I think we could take away some of that, some of those lines. All right, now he's gonna have some rocks that are his buttons, and those we're gonna color in dark too. Okay, and maybe one right out there. Okay, now I'm going to spend just a minute coloring these in so they look better. Some of you might have some special drawing pencils that are softer lead. I'm just using a regular old pencil like you'd use at school. I thought I should have brought a softer one in today, though, to the library, because that would have helped it show up a little darker, but we'll make do with this, right? Okay, there we go. Now we'll color in his rocks. Okay, now I'm going to show you some tricks to finish off our Olaf. All right, now his arms are made of twigs, right? And twigs usually are a little bit bumpy. They're not total straight sticks. So I know I want it to go this way, and I know I want it to go this way, but I don't want it to look perfect. So when I'm drawing it, I might put a few little bumps in it, because then it would look more like a twig. And he has funky little hands. They're little twigs. Think of what it looks like when you cut a twig off. If you had a pair of scissors and you cut off the end of a twig. So they're a little bit blocky there at the end. Does that look pretty good? I think that looks pretty good. We're lucky we got that shape right the first time. Okay. And then, I don't know, maybe I'd rather have it be down here. Hang on a minute. I'm not crazy about that way that one worked out. Okay. We'll do it like that, where his little crack is. But you can do it any way you want to. All right. And then, now, this one comes in a little bit and comes into the circle because it's on the side that's facing us, right? So that's why I didn't draw that circle very dark, because I knew that I was going to put this twig on. Okay, so let's say his hand ends about here. Okay. What a funny little hand he has. But I think it was so smart of them to make them twigs. It's really fun. Okay. You notice he doesn't bend them very much in the movie either. Okay. That's because they're sticks. All right. There we go. Now, should we give him some twigs up on the top of his head? Let's do. Remember, they don't have to look perfect. In fact, you don't want them to look perfect or to be super smooth, because they're just sticks, like you would pick up in the park. Okay. There. Now, once you like how you did your shapes, then we'll darken up the things that need to be darker. And you want me to show you a trick about shading? Artists know that if they want something to look flat, that's 2D, right? And you've seen our 3D printer that makes things 3D that come about. Well, there's a trick that you can do when you're drawing, that if you put shadows in a side where the sun wouldn't be, it starts looking all of a sudden kind of magical. And it makes it look like the ball is round. So that's a trick we know how to do. And then I usually just wipe over it a little bit with my fingers. And you might want to add some here. When I was drawing this earlier, I thought it'd be pretty fun to have even make a little shadow here on him, where if the sun was up here and shining down on his little sticky arms, they'd make a shadow right there too, right? Okay, so then we'll do some shading right here. And then we can rub it and make it a little bit smoother. We can make his rocks look better. And you want the rocks to be a little bit uneven shapes. They don't have to be perfect little balls either. And then he's got to have some shadow on his legs, right? Because they're underneath him and the sun doesn't shine right there underneath him. Okay. And then I will erase some of these lines I've got going on here. Try and make him look a little bit better. He looks pretty good. Now I brought a colored pencil, so if you have a colored pencil or a Sharpie marker or anything like that, you can color in his bright nose carrot. That just makes it a little bit more fun. And then you can go around on your drawing and you can erase the spots that you don't want to still have some of those lines in there. Oops, almost erased his arm shadow, didn't I? Forgot about that. Silly me. Okay. We want you boys and girls to know that we miss you very much at the library. We love to see you, and we've been missing seeing your faces. It's been kind of fun to do some programming that's on a video. I hope you've been enjoying it, but we'll sure be happy for the day when we can see you and you can come in the library again. okay, you can come to the library anytime and you can pick up from the box a copy of this Olaf or this one, and you can draw from them. Hope you liked it. Bye.